What you eating there?
Ice cream?
Yeah. Is it pretty good ice cream?
Yeah.
Let me see. I've got some too. Now, as strawberry ice cream goes, rated on a scale of 1 to 10.
100.
Oh! On a scale of 1 to 10, Teagan here thinks this is a 100 level ice cream. You know something about me? I'm an ice cream snob. My very first job when I was 15 years old was working at Baskin Robbins. And they have really good ice cream. But I learned good ice cream from junk ice cream then. And as a general rule, I don't like homemade ice cream, except this one is really good. The key is to be creamy, very creamy. Let's see who we've got in here. Hey, Tammy. Hey, Vicky. Hey, Dolly. Can you make some keto something? Make something out of tree bark and birdseed? I made some keto cookies. If you want to look over on my blog, they were kind of but I guess I'm just too used to cookies that, yeah, keto is not a friend of mine. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Alice. Hey, Chloe. Okay, so today, you go ahead, keep eating your ice cream because it is so good. I'm going to show you what we're going to make. And I made this last night and I put it in the freezer, and so it is pretty hard frozen. I got it out about 25 minutes ago so that it would be soft enough for me to scoop up for her. But that's when it gets really, really good to me, is after it's, you know, it's really hard in the freezer, but then you have to give it a minute to sort of melt. Now you can lick the bowl if you want to. Or we could just refill you. What do you think? Can we show everybody how to make this? Because it's not summer if you don't have ice cream at some point during the summer. What's the first thing we have to do?
Chop up the strawberries.
No.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Okay, come on. Get the good soap. That's what I call the girl soap, because sometimes in this house, the boys, they'll just grab the dish soap and they say soap is soap, but it's not. Doesn't this smell pretty? There's your towel in that soap drawer. One left, okay. That'll do. We'll have to share, won't we? Okay. So, let me tip down. We are going to mix this up. I don't have an ice cream freezer, so I can't deal with the ice cream freezer. But I do have a mixer, and that's all I need. And Chloe over here is cutting the. I'm sorry. Teagan is cutting the tops off of the strawberries. And we're gonna put them in the blender because I think it's just easier than trying to chop up all of my strawberries into little pieces. And while she's doing that, I'm gonna open a carton of whipping cream. And if you don't like whatever you can do with whipping cream, you also don't like butter, and something is wrong with you. All right, I'm gonna just start this on high. You can just keep going. I'll take all your tops. And
how many do I have to do? All of them?
Well, what we're going for is 2 cups, and you can see there's some measurements on the side there. Mm-hmm. So, but that's liters. So when you get to about right there,
all right.
Wait, You put a top in there. We don't want any stems.
I didn't do that.
Oh, you didn't do that. Okay. All right, so let's turn this on. It just looks like we're churning up milk right now.
Aren't we?
That's a good question. It's not really milk, even though it comes in a carton that looks sort of like milk. This is the part, have you ever heard the phrase, the cream rises to the top?
Yeah.
Well, in milk, when it's like fresh straight out of the cow, the heavy part, which is the part that makes the butter and the part that makes the cream, comes to the top and they skim it off.
Is that
So
good?
while it looks like we're churning milk, what we really have is the very much thicker cream. Oh, keep going. Teaspoon of salt. Gonna add that in. And I'm gonna go ahead and add in my cookie milk.
Alright.
Wait a minute. A half teaspoon of cookie milk. Now I want to show you something, Teagan. Do you see how nice and creamy that is? Like, it's kind of stiff. What we have right here is whipped cream. That's all we've done is put cream in here and whip it. But that is the whipped cream that happens when, but do you know what would happen if we if we walked away from this bowl and we kept stirring it and stirring it?
That's whipped cream? Just whipped cream?
This is, yeah, you want to taste it?
I gave some for you.
That's just the cream with no sugar. Now, if you were going to serve that on top of a strawberry shortcake or something, you'd probably put a tablespoon of powdered sugar in there, and that just kind of makes it really sweet. But right now, I could taste the salt in there. Could you?
Yeah.
That kind of cuts down on the sweet. But if we kept stirring this and just let it run and run and run, do you know what we would turn this into?
What?
Butter. And we don't want to do that. Because the longer you beat your whipped cream, but I want to make sure that you can see how nice and stiff. What, you think that was just a couple of minutes or something? Seems like it was.
I'd say 2.
Okay, and so whenever you're whipping cream, don't walk away from it. All right, so now.
Unless you want to make butter.
Unless you want to make butter, and then you can walk away from it all you want to. All right, so now I'm pouring in this 1 can of sweetened condensed milk.
Is this enough strawberries?
Is that enough strawberries? Look on the other side.
Alright.
Put a few more strawberries in there. Throw those stems out because I like very strawberry. Do you?
Yeah. You could call it berry strawberry cookie.
Very strawberry ice cream.
Yeah.
Get all of that out of there. Now, basically, this is sugar in a milk form. So now all the sweetness that cream was lacking before when you just tasted it, we've put it back in there now.
I just figured out I was using the wrong side.
Oh.
It cuts way easier.
Right. It's amazing when you're using the correct side.
No wonder it's taking me so long to cut these.
Okay, so now we've got that stirred in, and all we're waiting for is the magic ingredient.
The strawberries?
The
No, the cookie dough.
Oh, we've already put the cookie nut and the salt in there. So now let's, all right, make that your last one, and we will put the lid on the blender. And I just like to blend my strawberries because the recipe calls for half pureed, half chopped. And I just don't want to stop and puree them all with a fork. So we're going to stop before they all get, okay. So So some of them are still in little chunks, but then some of them, you see how that, can you see? Some of them are still in chunks, but some of them are also pureed. So we just kind of did 2 steps at the same time.
Yeah, that's like it's like chopped and pureed.
Right.
So we did 2 steps at the same time.
And when it says to fold it in, what do we do?
You fold it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm good at it.
You're good at folding?
Yeah.
Okay, well, fold that for me. You're doing a good job of getting that all mixed in there. Why do you think the recipe tells us to fold it instead of just put the mixer back in there?
Because it's clearly already pureed and
It's clearly already pureed.
why
If we put the mixer,
put it in, it'll
change
it'll
your
turn-
consistency.
It'll change into like icing.
Right,
That's strawberries.
right. So by folding, all you're doing is stirring it around with a spatula.
Yep.
Now, let me see. Since you're an expert on ice cream, I'm about to give you, now this is melted. Just imagine if this were frozen. Is it good and yummy? Does it need anything?
It needs to be in ice cream form.
It needs to be in ice cream form, but is it good and sweet? Okay, so now all we're going to do is take 2 of these little canisters and we're going to pour half of it in one and half of it in the other. This was a very easy recipe, wasn't it?
And it only took like 15 minutes.
Right, but you know what takes longer than that?
Freezing it.
Freezing it, because you know, waiting for ice cream is like the hardest thing ever. You know it's in the freezer, you know it's going to get, you know that you're just waiting on it so that you can eat that sweet frozen yumminess. And
It's kind of like you have to make it overnight.
yeah,
So then you have to go straight to bed and you don't think about it.
and you don't think that would be good, where you don't think about it. So now,
Can I have this one?
yeah, you want to take one home?
Yeah,
Sure.
I was just wanting this one because it had more. It had more in it.
Oh, okay. Kids have an eye for which bowl has more and less. Now, we got 4 cups of yummy,
Well, we got 8 cups because for thing.
right? But I'm going to put this in my, I'm going to put this one in my freezer. You can take that one home and put it in your freezer. And when you get it out, it will be good and hard frozen like this. And give it a minute to put some.
This bowl's mine.
That bowl is yours? Okay, here you go. There's some more. So now you have the yummiest fresh fruit ice cream ever, don't you? Okay, so I'm going to stick this in the freezer. Let's see if we had any questions. Hey, Susan. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Casey and Vianne and Leslie and Frankie and Jana. I hope some of you will try this recipe because it is so good. You know what else is good to do with it? If you put it in your popsicle molds and then you have like you have like ice cream bars. That is really good too. So try it and post a picture on the Facebook page. I want to remind you, be sure and take your pictures of all of the recipes that you have made so that when we play bingo, you will be able to come and play your card and you may win 101 cookie cutters. So we will see you next Monday. Bye now.
I'm done.